Welcome to this channel. This is the first episode of covering the history of Iran. Please subscribe to the channel to make sure you don't lose next episodes. Without any further ado, let's start and take a look at history of this ancient land. Iran before the Aryans. 1. Prehistoric Iran, Paleolithic to Neolithic. Lower Paleolithic, 800,000 to 200,000 BCE. The earliest human presence is confirmed by stone tools found in caves like Kashafrud and Darband. These were early hominids before fully modern humans. Middle Paleolithic, 200,000 to 40,000 BCE. Neanderthals lived in Zagros caves. Shanidar in Iraq, Kermanshah region in Iran. Evidence of burials and primitive tools exist. Upper Paleolithic, 40,000 to 12,000 BCE. Modern humans spread through Iran. Caves like Yafta and Lorstan show advanced stone tools, bone tools, and early art. Neolithic Revolution, 10,000 to 6,000 BCE. Iran became one of the centers of early farming and herding. Settlements like Ganj Dar and Jarmo in the Zagros were among the first to domesticate goats and cultivate wheat and barley. This was the birth of permanent villages. 2. Chalcolithic Copper Age, 6000 to 3000 BCE. By this time, farming communities developed into more complex societies. Choga Mish, Khuzestan, a major settlement with evidence of early writing-like symbols. Tepe Sayalk, near Kashan, known for painted pottery and early metallurgy. Choga Bonnet and Ganj Dar, agricultural villages with early use of copper tools. These were not empires yet, but important proto-urban centers laying the groundwork for civilization. 3. Bronze Age civilizations, 3000 to 2000 BCE. Several advanced cultures flourished before the Aryans arrived. 8. Elamite civilization, 3200 to 539 BCE, centered in southwestern Iran, Khuzestan, Susiana. Capital, Susa, one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the world. Elamites spoke Elamite, a language unrelated to Indo-European or Semitic. They developed writing, Proto-Elamite, later Elamite cuneiform. Elam often interacted with Mesopotamian states, Sumer, Akkad, Babylon, sometimes allies, sometimes rivals. B. Jaraft civilization, 2500 BCE. In southeastern Iran, Kerman, known from discoveries at Konar Sandal, produced beautiful chlorite stone vessels with mythological carvings. Believed to be a sophisticated urban culture, possibly connected to the legendary Aratta, mentioned in Sumerian texts. C. Kara, Araxes culture, 3400 to 2000 BCE, spread from the South Caucasus into northwestern Iran. Known for distinctive red-black pottery, practiced farming, metallurgy, and trade networks stretching across the plateau. D. BMAC, Bactria, Margiana Archaeological Complex, 2200 to 1700 BCE, centered in present-day Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, and northeastern Iran. Large fortified settlements, monumental architecture, advanced crafts. Had trade links with Mesopotamia, the Indus Valley, and Elam, possibly connected to Indo-Iranian migrations later on. 4. Other early inhabitants and cultures. Before the Aryans, the Iranian plateau was a mosaic of peoples and languages. Elamites, southwest, non-Indo-European, Zagros Highlanders, Lalubi, Gudians, Kassites, semi-nomadic mountain tribes, often clashing with Mesopotamian kings. Baluchistan and Makran, prehistoric farming communities linked to the Indus Valley. Central Iranian plateau, settlements like Tepe Hisar, Damgan, known for fine ceramics. These groups formed the substratum of Iranian civilization, later blending with incoming Aryan tribes. 5. Transition toward the Aryan period, 2000 to 1500 BCE. By the late 3rd and early 2nd millennium BCE, Iranian plateau societies were already advanced, with urban centers, trade networks, metallurgy, and written records, Elamite. Aryan migrations did not replace these civilizations entirely. Instead, they merged with existing populations. For example, the Persians and Medes later absorbed Elamite, Kassite, and Gutian influences. Zoroastrianism preserved older Indo-Iranian religious traditions but also incorporated local deities like Anahita. Aryans' migration to Iran. Who were the Aryans? The word Aryan originally comes from the Indo-Iranian root Arya, meaning noble, respectable, pure. It was used by ancient peoples of the Iranian plateau and northern India to describe themselves, not as a race but as a cultural ethnic identity. Scholars usually identify them as Indo-Iranians, a branch of the larger Indo-European family, which spread widely from Eastern Europe to South Asia. The Indo-Iranians split into two major groups. Indo-Aryans migrated south into India. Iranians, Persians, Medes, Scythians, etc., settled on the Iranian plateau and Central Asia, the Proto-Indo-Iranian homeland. Most historians and linguists trace the Aryan origins to the Pontic-Caspian steppe, modern-day Ukraine, Russia, Kazakhstan region, around 400 to 2000 BCE. This is linked to the Yamnaya culture, known for early use of horses, wheeled carts, and a semi-nomadic lifestyle. From there, groups of Indo-Europeans began migrating eastward, reaching Central Asia. By around 2000 to 1500 BCE, the Proto-Indo-Iranians had formed a distinct cultural and linguistic group. Migration toward Iran and India. Between 2000 to 1500 BCE, the Indo-Iranians began a mass migration southward and eastward. Some entered northern India, becoming the Indo-Aryans who composed the Rigveda. Others moved into Iran and Central Asia, forming the Iranian tribes. These Iranian tribes included Medes, Persians, Parthians, Bactrians, Sogdians, Scythians/Saka tribes. Early settlement in the Iranian plateau. By 1200 to 1000 BCE, Iranian tribes were firmly established across the Iranian plateau. The plateau was already home to older civilizations, Elamites in the southwest, Kassites in Mesopotamia, Hurrians, and others. But the newcomers gradually became dominant. Two of the most significant Iranian groups were Medes settled in northwestern Iran. They established the Median Empire c. 700 to 550 BCE. Persians originally from the region of Parsa, modern-day Fars province. They later rose under Cyrus the Great to establish the Achaemenid Empire, 550 to 330 BCE. Language and religion. Language. The Aryans brought Indo-Iranian languages, which evolved into Old Persian, Avestan, Parthian, Sogdian, and others. Modern Persian, Farsi, Pashto, Kurdish, and many Central Asian languages are descendants. Religion. They practiced an early polytheistic faith with gods like Mitra and Ahura. Over time, Zoroastrianism, founded by Zoroaster, circa 1200 to 1000 BCE, reformed this religion into a dualistic system of good, Ahura Mazda, versus evil, Angra Mainyu. Historical impact. The Aryan migration into Iran reshaped the history of the region, created a shared cultural identity across Iran, Central Asia, and parts of the Caucasus, gave rise to some of the most powerful empires in history. Achaemenids, Parthians, Sassanids, spread the Indo-Iranian languages widely, influenced later civilizations including Greeks and Indians through cultural exchange. Legacy of the Aryans in Iran. The very name Iran comes from Aryanam, land of the Aryans. Iranian mythology, Shahnameh, Zoroastrian texts, preserves echoes of the Aryan migration, with tales of east-to-west movements and conflicts between tribes. The Aryan heritage remains central to Iranian national identity and cultural memory. This was the first episode of History of Iran. In next episodes, we cover early governments in Iranian and creation of central power. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to make sure you don't lose next episodes. Thank you for watching.